What's up, everybody, and welcome on back to the episode of the My Side of Things podcast. This is now episode 14. I'm your host, as always, Ash. We got a whole lot of things on the docket to get to today, and let me tell you right now, I do mean we got a whole lot of things because we got to talk about Mr. Rock, Mr. wearing a New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt while the Windy City Riot match, while the Windy City pay-per-view was going on, and we do got to talk about that main event because, oh, baby, that was a thing of beauty with that main event. We also got to talk about the 5 biggest fumbles between WWE and AEW while also talking about major injuries in AEW and how they actually a blessing, while also talking about some AEW Collision as well. I know this is a bit late of an AEW Collision thing. It's just I've been kind of sick the past couple of days, so yeah. We're also going to be talking about the NBA playoffs. What? We are talking basketball? Yeah, we're going to talk about a little basketball. Come on, man. It's one of the biggest things happening right now. I got to at least give you my ball prediction. Got to let y'all know that I know ball, actually, man. Can't be out here looking like I don't know ball. But first off, we do got to start off with the Wrestlemania 41 predictions. That was basically the earliest thing that happened over these past couple of days. Got all the matches announced for Wrestlemania. We kind of already knew what it was going to be for the most part, although there is like 1 or 2 matches that I did not think we're going to be getting by any means. But let's go ahead and start off with Saturday's card because a lot of y'all, I'm going to be real, man. A lot of y'all just really love this Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk match because y'all said this was the best card between the two. Y'all can give y'all, y'all answers down below. I'm even going to have it as one of the polls of which night is better. But let's go ahead and start from the bottom because we have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. I'm not going to lie to you. I've already said it before. I don't know why the heck this match is on the card, but I have 2 predictions as for who El Grande Americano is. It's either A, Jason Jordan, and I would really love for it to be Jason Jordan because it would be a very funny moment in WWE history, or B, it's Julius Creed. And it really does actually look like him if you look at it very, very closely because he has like a little bit of a beard right here, and Chad Gable doesn't have like little hair on his chin, but Julius Creed does. They also have kind of similar eye color, although to be fair, like his eyes are usually covered up, but you can see like a hint of like a light bluish, but it might just be the dang mask once again. But this part right here, the chin, the mouth, definitely looks like Julius Creed, so I wouldn't be surprised if at WrestleMania this year, because of the fact that it's not going to actually be who Rey Mysterio thinks it is, which is Chad Gable, and it's going to be Julius Creed. That's going to throw Chad Gable off it's going to throw Rey Mysterio off so much to the point where he is going to lose. And shout out to my guy, Julius Creed. He's going to get a big WrestleMania win. And I also said before that I think Julius Creed is going to get a really big push sooner or later. He feels like if anybody's going to be Kurt Angle, it's definitely going to be Julius Creed because of how he has the size, he has the athleticism, and all we really got to do is get the mic work there, and I'm pretty sure a guy like Chad Gable would be able to help him out a lot with that mic work. Now, for the next match, we have Naomi versus Jade Cargill. I'm not going to lie to you. I really am hyped for this match. I will say this. This is a hard one because if I want to go with my former prediction was that Jade is going to defeat Naomi once, and then Naomi will get the Money in the Bank, and then Jade will go face Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam. My only issue with that is if I do go with that one, we don't know what's happening with King and Queen of the Ring. Now, I made that prediction based off of King and Queen of the Ring that Jade Cargill was going to win Queen of the Ring, going to face Charlotte Flair because Charlotte Flair would win the Women's Championship from Tiffany. Naomi would get Money in the Bank, cashing on that match. We'll get Naomi versus Jade at it wouldn't be Bash in Berlin. It would be Clash in Paris, or as I like to call it, Payback in Paris. That one sounded a lot better. But I think that it would happen there if they were going to do something like that. I just don't know if it's going to happen because of the fact that King and Queen of the Ring may not be happening this year. It's basically believed that it's not going to be happening. So I don't know how the heck Jade Cargill would get Queen of the Ring if the PLE isn't happening. You understand what I'm saying? It don't work out like that if you don't have the Queen of the Ring. I was going to try to make another rhyme, but it just didn't work. So yeah, I think Jade is still going to win. I just don't know what's going to happen going forward is the thing. But if they do Queen and King in the Ring last second, then I still think my plan will play out and it'd be pretty damn good. Next up, we have the tag team champions of the War Raiders versus the New Day. Oh, this match is sick, man. This match should not be on WrestleMania. I feel like the only reason it's going to be there is because the New Day are going to lose. There's no other reason for this match to be there if you're going to get like the New Day the win, mainly because of the fact that you haven't actually built the War Raiders up as like this super big babyface tag team that the New Day could take down. I feel like you've kind of already messed things up with the New Day, so I'm going to say the War Raiders win here because Big E gets involved. Again, I don't really like the match. If the New Day win, though, shout out to my dogs in New Day. No, don't really care for this match. This is one that I might just go to sleep on for a minute. And probably this next one as well. So I kind of hope that these do happen back to back. Because the next match up is the United States Championship match of LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. Ugh, man. Ugh. This match sucks. I do not want to watch LA Knight going one-on-one with Jacob Fatu. I watched that match in 2K25, and oh man, it was a boring match. It didn't even get past 2 stars, and I don't think it's going to get past a 2-star rating at WrestleMania. I don't think many people are going to care for this match. Maybe LA Knight shows us something that'll make this match a lot better. Maybe something crazy happens in this match. But I think Solo Sikoa probably wins this one. I mean, not Solo Sikoa. What the hell? I was thinking ahead to something else completely different. I think Jacob Fatu wins this one. And then maybe Solo Sikoa, maybe Solo kind of like tries to get involved during the match. Doesn't really work out the best. Jacob Fatu is still able to get the win because he's just Jacob Fatu, a Samoan werewolf. But him and Solo kind of get into it afterwards. But I think that wouldn't really make as much sense. So if Solo was to get involved, I think LA Knight does retain. I just think that Jacob Fatu is going to win because they want an absolute monster in that U.S. title division. They also want to put a belt onto Jacob Fatu so they can keep, pushing him. I think him and Solo would be cool to run, but it's like, where do you go after that if Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa happen, and then, you have LA Knight still with the belt? Are we going to do Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight again? Like, my God, please, no, I don't need that at all. But this next match, I'm pretty interested in seeing still. Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair. I don't really like the way that the feud has gone so far with these past 2 weeks. I did like the attack from Charlotte Flair on Tiffany Stratton. I thought that was really cool. Also, Charlotte looks pretty cool in baggy clothes. Very few skinny folk can pull off that look, so shout out to Charlotte Flair. But this match is going to be really good, I think. I don't really know where it's going to go after this. Like, where does Tiffany Stratton actually go if she does win the belt? So I'm going to go with Charlotte Flair. I could see them running it back like how they did Charlotte and Ronda. I personally don't like it if you run it back at Backlash. Like if Tiffany Stratton does win. But I don't know. I'm so confused with this whole entire feud now because now we're getting reports that Backstage was mad, but Charlotte and Tiffany did go off script, but apparently it was like a planned off script. But then why would Backstage be mad? Did the off scripting not go as good as it was supposed to go if they were going to go off script? But then again, if you are going to go off script, don't you have like a backup script there? But if you have a backup script there, are you really going off script? I don't really know. It's so weird, man. I think maybe just like the crowd was, the issue there, which I've said for a minute now, the American crowds are very, very irritable when it comes to just getting involved and kind of overshadowing the wrestlers. Not even American crowds. American WWE crowds just overshadow the heck out of the wrestlers, and they do mess up a lot of the things because it's like you can get loud, but I feel like when it's very clear that you're probably not supposed to be getting as loud as you actually are, you're not supposed to continuously do it, especially when you see that like the wrestlers are kind of like, shh, shh, so it's like, I don't know. But I think Charlotte Flair is going to win this match regardless. I think that was always the plan, was to have her to win, eventually probably pass the title off to Jade Cargill or maybe Naomi or whoever the heck is going to, it's probably like one of those two that's going to be getting it. I would assume Jade Cargill. I think Tiffany Stratton, they're probably going to go back to the lab with her for a little bit because she does need to work on a lot of things. I just don't know where you go with Tiffany Stratton going forward. Like, even if you don't bring in Mariah May, let's just take off that whole possibility of it actually happening. Where do you go with Tiffany? I don't see any feuds available for Tiffany. I don't see any storylines available for Tiffany. So it's like, do you actually have her retain the belts? Do you possibly have her feuding with Chelsea Green to get the United States belt? Do you really want to have that happen already? I don't know the direction for Tiffany, and I'm going to be honest with you, as somebody who loves the fantasy book, I couldn't even really think of something off the top of my head, because usually a lot of the great ones come off the top of my head. I could sit down and think of one, but even when I tried sitting down thinking of one, it's not worked, because there's nothing there for Tiffany other than going back to NXT for a minute, because your main roster call might have just been too quick. But then the problem is, if you have her go back down to NXT, doesn't that kind of hurt her in a sense? Because you just came off of dethroning Nia Jax, who had arguably one of the best women's championship runs over the past few years. Then you had your own, your own women's championship run within like the first year of you even being on the main roster. But now you're going back down to NXT. It's kind of the same thing with Lyra. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I mean, maybe they could run this feud much longer, but I think WWE is probably as done with this feud as a lot of other people are. So, yeah, I think Charlotte wins, and we're going to have to figure out something for Tiffany Stratton going forward. Next up, though, we have the World Heavyweight Championship match of Gunther versus Jey Uso. This is likely going to be opening. No, not even likely. I would bet. Well, I'm not going to bet my house on it, because knowing WWE, they're going to see this video and be like, Oh, so you mean the mofo that's been hating on us for a good amount of time now done bet their house? Okay, bet. We're going to not have Jey Uso versus Gunther in the middle, and you're going to lose your damn house. We're going to come repo it ourselves. We're going to have Braun Strowman and them boys just pulling your house off. Nah, I'm not going to bet my house, but I'm going to bet, let me see. I'm going to go ahead and bet Kiba. Yeah, I'm betting my Kiba Funko Pop on, Jey Uso and Gunther opening the show. Kiba, sorry, man. You tried saying you were going to be the Hokage. Weird times, man. Weird times. But then again, we laughed at this guy, but didn't laugh at Sasuke. So, who knows? And that guy was a terrorist. I don't know if I can say the actual word on like other streaming platforms, so that's why I said it like that. But yeah, no, I think Jey Uso wins this match. There's literally zero chance that this man actually loses. It would make zero sense for this man to lose. Like, you're gonna have Gunther win going forward. What would be the reasoning? Who are you running against Gunther? You don't have Ilya Dragunov back yet. You could do Braun Breaker, but and maybe Braun Breaker is like the better champion going forward. I would just personally rather do Jey Uso for the big moment. And you could easily have Seth Rollins, if he, does become a Paul Heyman guy, have him dethrone Jey within like a couple of months if it doesn't really work out. You could easily run like a Seth Rollins, maybe Jey Uso feud. I don't even know who the heck you would do. Post-Wrestlemania is going to be weird for a lot of people. I think Jey versus Drew McIntyre would happen first, if anything, because obviously Drew McIntyre doesn't like Jey Uso. Jey doesn't like Drew. They already have a story there. It's real easy, just post-WrestleMania feud to run. So, yeah. Now, going into the main event of the night, we have Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. And I 1,000% believe that Seth Rollins is winning this match. I think he becomes a Paul Heyman guy, and I think he's eventually going to get that World Heavyweight Championship back. And that'll be like a really good way to transition it over to whoever you want to transition it to, whether it be Roman Reigns or CM Punk. Either way, you can just easily get the belt on over to him. That does mean, though, that I think you probably keep a lot of them on SmackDown, or you're moving the World Heavyweight title or you're keeping the World Heavyweight title on Raw, which I personally don't see WWE wanting to do, because I think John Cena is mainly going to be on Raw, and if he wins the WWE Undisputed Championship, there's no way that you're moving both titles over to Raw. I mean, my bad. There's no way that John Cena is staying on SmackDown, and there's no way that you're keeping both titles on Raw. It just wouldn't make any sense at all unless Netflix is giving you that big of a bag. So it's really weird. I don't know, man. Like, this is why I have like such like a hard time deciding who the heck's gonna win between Cody and John Cena, because John Cena's biggest feuds are all on Raw. Now, he is a free agent, so I guess you can easily do that. But if you have him mainly on Raw, and you have your World Heavyweight Championship mainly on Raw, what the heck are you doing to SmackDown? It's just slapping it in the face. And I've already said before that WWE used to do this thing where they would like knock SmackDown. But my goodness, we're taking both belts off. But then again, they did that with Roman Reigns to Raw. So I actually could see the world where they do that. It would just be really sick. Although I guess you could move Jey Uso over to SmackDown. You can move Seth over to SmackDown. You have Seth and Paul Heyman there. Seth eventually gets the belt. And then maybe you just have the kind of like, I don't know, just the whatever kind of rule that champions could just transfer over to any roster they want to go to. I don't know where you're going to go with that, but I do think Seth Rollins wins this match regardless. The future, though, is very, very odd. Now, as for night 2, I'm going to say this now because there's only 6 matches. I'm predicting it. I think Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis does happen. No, my bad. I had that written down. I think Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa happens. I think Randy defeats Solo, Tama Tonga, and then probably come in the ring. Nick Aldis is probably going to come out there to help Randy, like quote unquote help him. Or maybe somebody comes out there to help Randy, and then Nick Aldis comes out of nowhere and does attack Randy Orton, setting up a match between those two at Backlash. Because I just don't think that... I don't think you're going to have Randy versus John Cena at Backlash. You could do it if John Cena does win. If Cody wins, I could see none of this happening, and then it's just Randy versus Solo Sikoa. I personally don't like the match being set up. It just feels like such a kind of match, but at least they're giving Solo Sikoa something because of the fact that, you know, he did do a lot of big things in 2024, and I feel like he really should be paid back by having a WrestleMania match. It just feels so weird is the only thing, because it's just like, man, I don't like Randy versus Solo. When you had Randy talking crazy to Nick Aldis, you gotta either do Randy Nick Aldis or you're doing Randy Nick Aldis at Backlash, one of the two, and you're gonna have Nick Aldis attacking Randy Orton at WrestleMania, setting up like a really big WrestleMania moment up for him, and then everybody's gonna be really hyped going into Backlash. Either way, though, whoever Randy faces, whether it's Nick Aldis or Solo Sikoa, he's beating by either one of them. They're not doing Aleister Black anymore. I think that one's just very obvious that they're not gonna do it. I think he's also on a 30-day as reported, so yeah, we're not gonna be getting that match. Next up, though. Can I cry? Can I just cry? Oh, man. Oh, it's AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I'm not watching this match. I'm not doing it, man. No, I'm not going to see my guy losing this match. I'm not seeing AJ Styles lose to freaking Logan Paul. This guy is an icon, one of the greatest wrestlers to ever touch this dang match. I'm not seeing this man lose to Logan Paul. It's going to be the sickest thing that has ever happened in the sport of wrestling. I'm not doing this, so I'm skipping this match. I think AJ Styles is sadly going to be losing it. And it's just, oh, man, it's a slap in the face to AJ Styles. And you could say, you know, like, hey, if he's okay with it, you should be okay with it. I'm not okay with it. I don't care if AJ Styles is okay with it. I truly don't. This match is stupid. It shouldn't even be happening. Logan Paul should not be at WrestleMania. No, I'd rather see AJ Styles versus literally anybody else. You could have thrown him into the Intercontinental Championship match, made it a Fatal 5-Way ladder match, whatever you want to do. You could have thrown him into the U.S. title picture if you really wanted to do it. You were setting up AJ Styles and Braun Breaker, so it's like, why didn't you just do that? You had either that match or you had a Fatal 5-Way or a 6-man match. I would have even taken AJ Styles and Logan Paul in the IC match. That would have been better for me, not having to see AJ Styles lose to Logan Paul. That just sucks so much. Next match, though, we have a Sin City Street Fights, Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. I think Drew McIntyre needs to win here more, only because if Jey Uso wins, how the heck does Drew McIntyre get to the World Heavyweight Championship if he loses? It would be Damian Priest. Unless you really want to have Jey just have like 3 good months with the belts, so you would have him defeat Damian Priest and then have him defeat Drew McIntyre and then lose to Seth Rollins. I don't know, because my only issue with having Jey lose so early, if it is to Seth Rollins, is do you really want your past 2 WrestleMania World Heavyweight Champion winners basically being more or less transitional champions? Like, do you really, really want that? I mean, being a transitional champion isn't the worst thing in the world. I'm going to be honest with you. But it's just like, I don't like it for Jey Uso, man. Jay's done a lot over the past few years where I feel like he deserves like at least a credible run. I don't really know what you do there with Jey Uso. Well, no, actually, you have a few matches. Because you could easily go Jey Uso versus Solo Sikoa 1. You can go Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre 2. You can go Jey Uso versus Damian Priest 3. And then you could go Seth Rollins 4. That would get you about 4 months into his reign. If you want to even, you know, do Damian... No, you'd probably do Solo first. You bring him over to SmackDown. So Solo... I don't know how you would do it. But Solo, maybe somebody else, Damian, Drew, and then Seth. You could even stretch it out to 5 months if you actually want to do Tama Tonga as well. You could do Tonga Loa too. That'd be really funny. But we're not doing Tonga Loa. No, that's not the match that we're doing. That's not that. He is not a World Heavyweight title, and he's not a World Heavyweight champion, and he's not in that dang kind of picture. But you could do Solo, Tama Tonga, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and then, well, I guess how do you not do Jacob there? Yeah, that's a little weird. You got to do Solo at least. You at least got to do that one. The other ones, who knows? Maybe if it's a much better match this time, we could do Jay versus Jimmy. I don't really want to see a part 2 to this match, though, is the only thing. But I'm not completely mad about it because at least you're paying Jimmy back. Unless, you could go Solo Tama and then have Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu start feuding at some point in time, because Jacob Fatu comes out, he wants to challenge next, but then Jimmy Uso comes out and he starts going after Jacob to get that United States Championship off of him if he does win the belt. So you could always do that as well. I wouldn't be mad at that, honestly. But I do think, though, you have to have Drew McIntyre most likely win this match, because I think Damian Priest beating him is just... No, I would rather have Drew McIntyre win, let Damian Priest rest up, come back. You could even have him rest up until the point where Seth Rollins gets the belt, and then Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins is the first match. I think that'd be a really damn good match, especially because Seth Rollins would be the heel, Damian Priest would be the face, so it'd be really damn good. It's just, when does, I guess, Seth get that belt is the only thing. Do you want to have Damian off air for that long? But it would be a really big pop when he came back. Next up, we have the Women's Tag Team Championship match of Liv Morgan and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Part of me is still really, really hoping that Bayley and Lyra get taken out either on Monday or on Friday, and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross get announced as like the mystery opponents at WrestleMania. Ooh. Nah, I don't want to see the possibility of Lyra becoming a double champion. It's going to hurt me to my core because of the fact that she does not deserve to be double champion yet. No way, no how. If she improves the mic and character work, then we can start talking. But right now, I just can't see it at all. It just doesn't feel right in my opinion. So, no, I have Liv and Raquel retaining. But I'm going to be honest with you. At some point in time, can we just get rid of these damn belts? I'm tired of these women's tag belts. I'm going to be real with you. And not because I think the women shouldn't have these belts. I just think you're not doing anything with the belts, so just get rid of them. Like look at, man, hey, man, I'm 100% for equality and all, but you ain't doing shit with these tag belts. Get rid of them. You can have the women's mid-cards, have the women's top 2 championships, and leave it at that. Hell, I would even unify the men's championships, to be honest. I mean, the men's tag team championships, to be honest. So... yeah, no, I want these belts done away with. It's really just kind of pointless because I don't even know what the heck Liv and Raquel do going forward. Like, if you couldn't find a match for WrestleMania, are you telling me you have nothing planned out for these two women going forward? You're going to do Lash Legend Jakara Jackson? Okay, what do you do after that? Sol Ruka and Zarya? Oh, so we just going to peek. So we just going to be on NXT 24/7 is what we're doing, huh? Because we probably ain't going to call them up that damn soon, and you really ain't going to run like a credible feud with them. So it's like, no, I would not do this. I swear, though, if this ends in Nikki Bella and Brie Bella winning the dang tag team championships off Liv and Raquel, I'm going to be sick to my stomach, man. I'm going to be sick. I don't care how big bad Liv and Raquel are of, like, heels. I don't want to see those two getting the belts. Next up, we have the Intercontinental Championship match of Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. Yeah, how the hell did y'all say that night one was better, man? Look at the match that we're getting right now. This is going to be a 5-star classic match. No, my bad. A 5-star legendary match, according to 2K. But I think Dominic Mysterio is going to get the win here. Let me make sure I didn't skip over anything because it felt like I did. Okay, no, I didn't. I think Dominic Mysterio is going to get the win here. We could easily run a feud with Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor. If we are going to turn Dom face, I'm honestly not mad at it at all. I don't want it to happen just yet because I feel like he could be like a really big heel going forward. But if you want to kind of pave his career out like an Eddie Guerrero, I'm going to be real with you. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work at all because Dom, and this is no offense to Dom. I mean, no disrespect to Dom, by the way. Dom for the Latin community isn't what Eddie was. And I'm not saying that that's the only reason why Eddie got over, because obviously Eddie was an incredible wrestler as well. But it was that. And it was also the addiction story, you know, like the whole thing with Brock Lesnar and all that. Like, overcoming a lot of this stuff, like, that's what really got Eddie over. Dom doesn't have that. The only thing I could see you doing here with Dominic Mysterio, which I think is a really good idea, is you have Dominic Mysterio in May, because we would be in May next month, so it's not gonna be that long, that long away. You could have Dom break away from Liv, and you could say that he's struggling from an addiction as well, which is being addicted to women because of the fact that, you know, he was getting beat up by Rhea Ripley, but still decided to get with her, and then he was being, you know, flirted on by Liv Morgan, even though he was with Rhea Ripley, but decided to go with Liv Morgan. You can run some whole little thing like that. and you could have him, maybe you can have Ray come out there and start talking to him as like a dad and stuff like that. And then, you start getting to like this whole, I don't know how deep you want to go with it, but you start having like, Ray talk about the fact that like, at one point in time, he was a womanizer, and now sadly that's passed on to Dominic Mysterio, and that you could have Ray telling him like, Dom, you have a lot more to give to WWE. You don't have to be just this guy that's around the women and all that stuff. You got the gold on you now. Continue to be a great, or no. Actually, you know what? Maybe you don't have him win the IC belt, because then you could easily have Ray trying to be like that like battery in his back to really get him kickstarted again, so that he goes after Finn Balor or whoever the heck has the belt, if it's Finn or Braun. He has him go after them, and then he gets the IC championship from him, and then Rey Mysterio's out there as well in his corner. And it's just a big old beautiful moment. I would really like that story, to be honest, because I feel like that's one of the things that we don't ever really talk about when it does come to men, is that womanizer from a lot of men. Is a lot of men that definitely are way too addicted to women, like way too addicted, to where their whole entire life just revolves around women, revolves around XYZ when it comes to women and all that stuff. So I think that would be a really good storyline to run with Dominic Mysterio if you really wanted to. I think this is probably the best, like, I don't want to say it's the best way, because there's other great ways to turn a face as well. This is one of the better ways to turn him into a face that I think a lot of people would be able to get behind. So I think I want Dom to win, because I feel like he does need a big win at WrestleMania now. He's already had, 3 straight losses, so a really big win for him would be good. But I'm going to say let's give it to Finn Balor, and then let's run this storyline with Dom and Finn. Heck, we could even start like the breakup around May if we really want to, of Dom leaving the Judgment Day instead of starting it right at WrestleMania, even though it has kind of already been, like little sprinkles of Finn Balor turning on Dominic Mysterio. Next up, though, we have Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. I don't know why Io Sky is like all in capitals. I did not capitalize that at all. But I think Io Sky does retain here. I don't think she needs to lose the belt this dang quickly. Bianca Belair, she can get the belt later on. She could easily get, she can get it back she can get it at Backlash if we really need to. But I think just giving Io Sky a good 4 to 5 month run with the belt is going to do good for her. You could even, no, you're not running Bianca and Rhea. If you have Rhea get pinned, I don't know. I swear, if Rhea gets pinned, Bianca has a match, and then we run Bianca versus Rhea because of the fact that Rhea is just crying again, I'm going to be so annoyed. But I think after this, Rhea takes some time off. I think she's probably going to take a few months off and then come back around SummerSlam. Bianca's probably the champion by then, or Evolution, and we have Bianca versus Rhea there. I just hope that doesn't mean that Rhea would get the belt from Bianca, because then my whole cold take of Rhea would have 7 championships before she turns 30, which is already 27 now. She already has 3 of them. She would need 4 of them. We're going to inch real close to that. I think Io Sky does win here, though. Next up, the main event of the night, Cody Rhodes, John Cena. Delusional me is going to say Cody Rhodes. Delusional me is going to say Cody Rhodes. After looking back at the last episode, though, John Cena has to win this, or the heel turn just makes no sense. John Cena's going to win, and I really don't care to see him win, to be honest. I've never been a John Cena fan, never cared for the dude. I don't hate the dude by any means, because I don't know him, like the person. I just don't care for John Cena, the wrestler. Just whatever to me. I don't like any one of this guy's feuds, I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're just all kind of, they're cool. I mean, I like Summer of Punk, mainly because of CM Punk. I like the Randy stuff, mainly because of Randy. I like every feud John Cena's in because of the other person. And it's not even like, the good guy is so boring and I don't like them. No, it's not because of that. It's literally because I just think John Cena's a boring ass person. I've never been interested in any one of his promos, never been interested in any of his matches because of him. I just think John Cena's boring. I do. And if you think the same thing about Cody, cool. I always thought Cody Rhodes was a lot better. I think he's 10 times, well, I don't want to say 10 times. That's crazy, because I know John Cena is actually good at certain things. I just think Cody Rhodes is a lot better, and I really want him to get this match because I feel like Cody Rhodes needs this match a lot more than John Cena does. Number 17 is not as important as solidifying your future face of the company, the guy that is running the company, and this is a very key moment for Cody Rhodes that I believe going forward would allow for, Cody to be the star that WWE believes he could be, and he could easily lose the belt to Randy. I'd rather see Randy get 15 to see John Cena get 17, in my opinion. Hell, I'd rather see Randy Orton get 16, 17 to see John Cena get 17. So, yeah, I'm going to say delusional-wise, I think Cody Rhodes win. Very obvious, though, it's going to be John Cena winning, and they're probably going to run John Cena versus Randy Orton at Backlash. Cody Rhodes probably takes a few months off, comes back around some point in time, and then gets that belt back eventually. But overall, though, this WrestleMania build-up might have been arguably one of the worst build-ups, but I will say this right now. It's not the worst. Like, it's not that much worse than last year, okay? People that are saying WrestleMania 40 had great build-up, dude, it was literally the Bloodline stuff and Bayley and Io. Bayley and Damage Control. And that's it. The rest of the card had little to no build-up. So, yeah, I don't think any of the other, and even WrestleMania 39, again, great build-up from, the top spot. Everything else is kind of just there. It's kind of just whatever, to be honest. You didn't even have a World Heavyweight Championship. It was just Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, and then Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. Bianca and Asuka had a cool build-up, but, I don't think it's it's not like leagues better than WrestleMania 41's build-up. I just think WrestleMania 41 it's just kind of, the top ones aren't good is the issue. They're really, really not. Jay and Gunther took weeks to actually get good. Tiffany and Charlotte, a lot of people don't like it. I like the beginning, don't like what's been happening in the past 2 weeks. And then obviously I think nobody really likes Rhea, Io, Bianca because it's just so dang annoying now at this point. And Cody and Cena has just been whatever because Cena ain't really been there. So yeah, he's going to be there on SmackDown though, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, no, not that great. But hey, speaking of WWE, John Cena, all that stuff, shout out to that man, The Rock. I got to give him his respect where respect is due. He is trying to do what Ash has been wanting for so long now, which is a wrestling league. I think it's very possible within the next 3 years. I'm going to say it right now. You know what? I'm going to stamp it. By, it's 2025. By 2028, we are getting a WWE AEW Forbidden Door. I know, it's weird. Wait, we're talking about New Japan. We're going to get a WWE New Japan Forbidden Door within the next year or two. I think it's happening. You obviously have Tanahashi's retirement. It's supposed to be happening. I guess he said last year, next year is his last year. But one of the announcers was saying that January 4th to January 14th is when his last match is going to be. So I don't really know what the heck's going on there. I don't know. Somebody got, told the wrong thing. But next year looks like it's going to be Tanahashi's last year. I love the fact that somebody yelled out, he's like John Cena. This reminds me of John Cena. I think The Rock is going to do everything in his power to get WWE, New Japan Pro Wrestling, so we can get Tanahashi versus John Cena before the year ends. I could very well see a Forbidden Door happening this year, and that's maybe why they haven't announced all the PLEs, because they want to get that one to happen. And I would love to see that so much, man. John Cena versus Tanahashi. Oh, my God, man. Yes. Yes, the ace versus the face. Please give me that right now, man. Do you know the other matches that we could potentially get? Because technically speaking, Mercedes Moné is also signed in New Japan Pro Wrestling. We could get Mercedes Moné versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Bayley, 4 Horsewomen's final match. I would love it so much. Obviously, I think Tony Khan would have to sign off on that. My bad. My chair is really trash, so I kind of have to keep moving and stuff like that. It sucks so much, man. One day I'm going to get a better chair, though. But yeah, I think Tony Khan would have to sign off on all this stuff. I think though Tony Khan does not really care. I know he was like on the verge of letting Sting, induct Lex Luger, and then it just ended up being Diamond Dallas Page, which does make Diamond Dallas Page, which does make sense because DDP has been helping him through recovery and all that. So I don't think it really needed to be Sting. You had DDP there as well, but I like the fact that The Rock kind of shut folks up when he said that. Yeah, I do watch AEW. I love what they're doing over there. They're doing a lot of great things. I get to watch them when I can. I don't think y'all understand that he's a businessman. Why would he not watch AEW? Do you think that these guys are just signing stars based on what the IWC says? No, they actually watch these other promotions. That makes so much sense. If you're getting into business, I'm not even in it, but one of the things that I know from a lot of business friends is that you watch your competition to see what they are doing so that you can either A, try to do better, or B, take something from them. You think The Rock and the rest of TKO and WWE are not watching AEW? No, they're watching that thing every week. Matter of fact, they're probably watching it even more than I do, and I watch it every week. They're probably watching replays and all that stuff because they see, okay, well, let's see, they got Jon Moxley over there. You know, what's going on with Jon Moxley? Is he going to be there around there that long? We could do Jon Moxley versus Shield. Okay, what about this guy, Blake Christian? You know, he's pretty damn nice with it. Billy Stark's pretty damn nice with it. Megan Bayne, really damn nice with it. Could we snag one of them if they ever become like a little free agent? You know, like this is what this is what these companies are doing. So yeah, no, it didn't make any sense to me when people are like screen recording it and posting like, oh, The Rock never watches AEW, me when I lie and all that stuff. It's like, no, this guy watches AEW, and I love the fact too that like he didn't shit on AEW because he definitely could have taken the chance, but. No. Also, speaking of like Instagram lives and all that stuff, I guess Mercedes Moné said on Instagram Live that she's just not returning like at all. She said she has zero plans to ever return. That she loves being in New Japan. I mean, she said that she loves being in New Japan, AEW. She loves the fact that she gets to go to like indie promotions, all that stuff. And she's kind of just doing like, you know, what she's wanted to do, which is be able to go all around the world and wrestle and stuff like that. So. Very real possibility that Mercedes Moné does stay in AEW going forward, and that she doesn't really have any plans to go back to WWE because she's already, well, you know, like accomplished everything that she needs to accomplish. So it's like, why go back if you already did everything, you know? So yeah, those are two just big things in the news. Also, I guess there was like a Michin post about. What was it? About Liv Morgan, I guess. She said, oh, so this is what you got to do nowadays to get over, which is show a lot of skin and all that stuff. And a lot of folks was like kind of like getting on her. And a lot of people started like, you know, body shaming her and stuff like that. I don't think Michin really cared, to be honest. I just found it really funny that a lot of people were like, you know, kind of disagreeing when it's not wrong in the slightest. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, look how they were before. Look how they are now. I'm not going to go too deep into this because I just don't really care to tell folk how to dress. All I'm going to say is that, yeah, no, she's not wrong at all. Michin is not wrong. Mickie James is not wrong either. Everything they said was 100% correct. So, yeah, let's go ahead and leave that topic and go on back to speaking about Tanahashi because, oh, baby, this Windy City Riot pay-per-view, man, this was something else. I'm not going to talk about much of the matches, though, other than I just want to talk about Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Konosuke Takeshita. This match was just absolutely beautiful. Just right from the beginning, you have Takeshita going at Tanahashi, really just trying to take charge of it early on. Tanahashi flips it, but he's not able to keep it for long because obviously Takeshita is the younger dude, a lot more athletic, a lot more powerful. He's able to get back in the match, and then he starts, you know, taking over again. And then here comes Tanahashi to finally get over after, you know, he had taken, I want to say it was. He took something and he kicked out no, that was a little later. He took some move. I can't remember if it was that dang punch that Takeshita be doing or if it was like a spinning back elbow. It was one of the two. But he had taken it and then he had hit his high fly flow. Such a beautiful move, by the way. And then Takeshita said, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and one-up you, and I'm going to hit your move as well. And it obviously did not keep Tanahashi down at all. Then towards the end, we get this series of like running knees, Kinshasa-esque moves. And it's just, he tries everything to keep Tanahashi down. Tanahashi still gets back up, even after I think he got hit. No, he didn't get hit with a Blue Thunder Bomb just yet. No, instead, Takeshita just went for 4 in every corner, then goes for the pin. Still doesn't work. Eventually goes for the Blue Thunder Bomb and then hits him with the Samado for Hiroshima. Obviously, DDT legend. Like, oh man, this match is just so beautiful. You could just feel the hate that Takeshita had for Tanahashi because of what he said to DDT, or what he said about DDT and how it really messed up DDT New Japan relations and really messed up like the whole pro wrestling indie scene in Japan for a minute. And then at the end of the match, we just get this moment between him and Takeshita where Takeshita just shakes his hand and, you know, kind of like, it's almost in a sense of like he just like let all of the hate go. And I really, really loved it. Even bow to him as well. This match was probably one of my favorite matches of the year just because like the storytelling from this match. And it was just, oh man, it was so beautiful. And I really feel like this match just cemented Takeshita as a top 3 wrestler in the world, if not the best wrestler. I love Will Ospreay. I love Cody Rhodes. I think that these guys are also in the top 3. Shout out to Mike Santana. He's an absolute dog as well. But I do think that it's Konosuke Takeshita right now. For the people that say that Cody Rhodes is not the best wrestler in the world or is not even close to being up there, dude, y'all just gotta stop this, man. It feels like weird WWE hate, and which is crazy from me because I do be critiquing WWE pretty damn hard. But even I can, admit the obvious things of Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles might be one of the greatest WWE matches of all dang time. And it probably was match of the year last year. Such a phenomenal match. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens, top tier match. Both of them, by the way. Cody Rhodes versus Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul was a great match until the end. Cody gave Roman Reigns arguably his greatest match ever. Like, if we're being realistic here, we know just how good Cody Rhodes is, okay? We've seen the guy in New Japan, Ring of Honor, TNA, AEW. We know what Cody can do. So let's not act like that, all right? Because I got Cody over Will Ospreay. I'm going to just keep it a stack with you. I got Takeshita, Cody, Ospreay. That's how I go with it. But Takeshita, man, he's got to get his respect. Because I feel like a lot of folks, whenever it comes to the best wrestlers, I feel like a lot of folks kind of keep like Japanese folk out of this conversation. Like, Tanahashi's always gotten his respect and stuff like that, but I feel like, even Tanahashi's kind of never been called like the greatest wrestler in the world, and like everybody was like, yeah, no, or like not even everybody, because not everybody will agree, but like a majority of folk would be like, yeah, no, that's the best guy right there. Like, I feel like it's always been kind of like mixed even with him, and Tanahashi's obviously one of the GOATs. Shinsuke Nakamura, one of the GOATs that doesn't really get respected. And now Takeshita is a guy that I feel just doesn't get respected. But we call a lot of these other guys like Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Jay White, like all these other guys that come out of New Japan. Heck, even Zack Sabre. All these other guys that are like New Japan guys that aren't Japanese. We're like, yeah, they're some of the best. Okay, but why do we not give any respect to the other guys that are from New Japan that are Japanese? And we're just like, yeah, no, they're great, like they're some of the best, but they're not the best. It's like, no, that it just always feels weird to me. And it feels like we're kind of just going back to this whole, they can't speak English, they can't cut a promo thing. And it's just so stupid. Like, no, Takeshita, even when he does speak in Japanese, them promos is absolutely amazing, man. If you can't turn the subtitles on, that's on yo dumbass. That's on yo dumbass, man. Like, so no, man. I think Takeshi's a dog. I think he's the best wrestler in the world right now. Shout out to my dog, man. I fucks with Takeshi so heavy, man. He is just cool. He is just cool, man. Here I go flirting with Takeshi again. Oh my gosh, my girl gonna see this and get mad at me. Baby, you just don't get it, okay? You just don't get it. Baby, if you watch Bleach, you would just get it, man. Like, when someone's just cool, man. That's just what it is. But speaking of AEW, before we do talk about Collision, I want to talk about the major injuries that happened in AEW and why I feel like these are a blessing for AEW and not actually the worst thing in the world. I'm going to start off with the one that's not really a blessing for AEW, though, but kind of is a blessing as well. Orange Cassidy. This just allows him to rest up, man. This guy's a workhorse, and it allows him to use Orange Cassidy a lot more going forward. So it kind of also is a blessing for AEW in a sense. I just feel like it's way more of a blessing for Orange Cassidy. Now, the next thing we have up is Mark Davis. I feel like this really allows them to take that little storyline of whatever they're doing with Mark Davis and why he turned on Will Ospreay and why he sided with Kyle Fletcher, and give it just another look at it and be like, well, do we like what we are going with, or are we like, maybe we could find something better? Really like the thought of that. So, yeah, that's much how it is with Mark Davis. And plus, it allows, what's their names? The Don Callis family to potentially get like another member in there if they really want to go with somebody else. And if they potentially want to just run the Mark Davis storyline, the same thing as Powerhouse Hobbs, where nobody checked on them. But then they still do, announce what the heck it was that made Mark Davis go with the Don Callis family. Speaking of the Don Callis family, Brian Cage is also hurt as well. Not sure how long he's going to be out for, but it looks like Lance Archer will also be stepping to the side since they are the Murder Machines. They are a tag team. Not really any point keeping them separate. I think this also just does a really good thing for them as well because they had nowhere going forward. Like, they were basically just doing nothing other than just being like, big men, big dangerous men for Don Callis family. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I think you can make the Don Callis family look a lot better. I never really liked Brian Cage and Lance Archer being in the group. I thought it was a cool thought at first. Didn't really like it. Kind of same thing with Mark Davis as well. There's a lot better guys you probably could add here. We just seen that Gabe Kidd did drop the Never Openweight Championship, so maybe he's the guy that goes there. I don't really know, though, if you want, Gabe Kidd with Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, because it's a lot of younger dudes that all obviously have very, very big potential. So it's like, you probably don't do that. Maybe you could add in a guy like Lio Rush and Action Andretti, but I don't even know if I really like that either. I think I would like, you probably want to add a tag team. I don't know where the heck you go, to be honest. I don't really like much tag teams with them. I don't know. The Don Callis family has always been like a weird thing because it's like at certain point in times, it looked absolutely amazing. Now, over like this past year, it's just kind of been cool, which sucks because I feel like Don Callis is an amazing mic worker and they should find something great for him and not kind of just give him whatever to work with. So, yeah. Next name up that we have is, I'll leave that person for last, Jay White. I'm going to be honest, when it comes to Jay White, this man had little to nothing going forward. I mean, you could have ran a Death Rider storyline, but the Owen Hart Cup tournament winner's right around the corner as well. You're going to do, 6 to 7 weeks of like Jon Moxley versus Jay White? Probably not doing that. And it also is really good, too, because now Pac is out, so you have Jon Moxley doing the whole trio stuff. So it's like, it would have been a mess. Jay White, though, just had nothing going forward. He can come back now to a super big mega pop. It's going to be really, really damn good for Jay White. I hope the best going forward for this guy. I hope he's able to recover and, stay as healthy as possible because he is obviously one of those top-tier wrestlers. He's amazing on the mic. He can play the hell out of a character. And I just want to see great things for Jay White because I really do like Jay White, man. That's one of my damn dogs. But speaking of the Death Rider, speaking of Pac is probably going to be out for a few weeks to months. They're not exactly sure how long it's going to be, but I think this does allow for a really great storyline going forward because now you have Jon Moxley, obviously, with, the trios belt. I think maybe Jon Moxley isn't going to want to do double duty. So going forward, you could eventually have somebody in the group make mention that we need another person. Maybe you even add Gabe Kidd to the Death Riders. I'm not mad at that at all. I mean, this guy literally fits the Death Riders, although he is with the War Dogs, so maybe you don't want to do that. I don't really know how you would circle around that whole situation. Stupid freaking typing. Goodness gracious. Oh, what? Whatever. That is going to have to stay messed up now. I accidentally pressed the backspace. But I have two possible storylines you could go with this when it comes to Pac. One is you could run the Powerhouse Hobbs angle if you want Pac to become a super big face that potentially goes after the Death Riders himself. Maybe even, takes a shot at Jon Moxley, is that you just don't have the Death Riders check in on him. And then he, gets really upset by that. And with the way that Claudio and them were speaking, it kind of almost did sound like, damn, are you guys actually going to check on him? Like, oh, we don't mourn over him, anything like that. Like, isn't this your guy right here? Don't you want to kind of, go check on him and stuff like that? Make sure that he's okay. So you could do that storyline. I think the much better storyline they would go with is that the Death Riders are banned from ringside. Or maybe they'll say, like, to keep it more specific, to not make it so Death Riders only, so less specific, would be Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, and Marina Shafir are banned from ringside, and that's what gets Jon Moxley his next win over whoever the heck it is that Pac comes back and then he attacks whoever's in the match, or he, does something to somebody in the match, like hits them when the ref isn't looking, distract the ref so that Jon Moxley can go for like a low blow. And then obviously because they said Claudio, Wheeler, and Marina were banned, that didn't mean that Pac wasn't banned. Or if those three guys get taken out, those two guys and gal get taken out, Pac can recover and then now come take out, or at least, do whatever the heck he needs to do to get Jon Moxley to win, whether it be distracting the ref, hitting somebody, etc. So I don't think that while these injuries do suck, they're not the worst thing going forward for AEW. And it's not like, this actually hurts AEW as much as people want to believe. Again, I think that these were all actually big blessings for AEW, in my opinion. But let's go ahead and jump on over to some Collision. Now, there's like two really big things that I want to talk about from Collision. Obviously, it's FTR, and the other one is the Owen Hart Cup tournament. But I do want to say a couple things about the rest of the show. Toni Storm just made this Owen Hart Cup women's tournament 10 times more interesting because of the fact that she just cut funny-ass promos on every single one of the women's there. What'd she say about Mercedes Moné? She said it's too bad you're the CEO because I'm going to make you go bankrupt. And she called her Mercedes Money, too. That was funny. She said something about Chris Statlander being a hell of a woman or something like that. She's basically just talking about like her thickness and stuff like that. That was funny as hell. She's cutting a promo on Athena being the forever champion and stuff like that, and just saying basically like it's just gonna come to an end against me. Toni Storm is just Oh, baby, Toni Storm is the GOAT, man. What else to say about her? Death Riders cut an amazing promo on the Ops as well. I really love that background music for the Death Riders. I would keep it going forward. I feel like it just made the Death Riders a lot more, feared of a group. It made Claudio look a lot better on the mic. It made Wheeler Yuta actually look, dangerous as an opponent. Marina Shafir just back there not saying a word at all. Really loved all of that. Keep the music going forward, and you don't have to keep wherever they're hanging out at, but just keep the dang music regardless. My bad, I had to get some water. It is extremely hot right now. My goodness, I was sweating up a storm. A storm that is coming, which is the storm of the Gates of Agony coming to take down the Hurt Syndicate, and they're going to be the ones that'll be hurting people. I'm assuming we're getting that match next because the Gates of Agony were basically after their match against a bunch of jobbers, which, I hate that AEW still does this stupid thing of let's hire the jobber, let's let our, monsters take out the jobber. WWE does it as well sometimes still too, but it was like a really old WWE tactic. It hasn't happened as much now, but they still kind of do it every once in a while. I just hate it though. I mean, it's cool. Let me say this. Let me correct that. It's cool for the jobbers because they get big publicity. They're indie wrestlers that just come in there, collect a check, and they get to make a name. I love that so much. I just hate it for the superstar though, because it's oh my gosh, so why do we have to do this every single dang time? Especially it's when like a debut match, something like that. Not like a debut match, but a match to show them off. Hey, let's show them off against these jobbers and look what they can do. It's just, oh man, whatever. But they were saying after the match though that we hurt people. I think that this is what they're probably going to be pivoting to, because they were going to do Lance Archer and Brian Cage. Probably going to be doing Gates of Agony sometime soon. I think that we will get either Gates of Agony or Big Bill and them next against the Hurt Syndicate. I could see a potential of a triple threat next as well. Maybe the Gates of Agony get a match against the Hurt Syndicate, and then here comes the Learning Tree. They get involved in the match leading to a disqualification. We run a triple threat. I would love to see that. You could have Learning Tree take the pin there. Run Gates of Agony one more time since they didn't get pinned in the match. I would absolutely love it. Speaking of tag teams, though, let's go ahead and talk about them boys, them middle guys, them bottom guys is what they really are, little bottom bitches. FTR came out to talk about a whole bunch of nothing, man. They came out there and said a whole bunch of yapping. All right, I'm done hating now. FTR came out there and it was, saying about why they did it, and that, Cope was basically putting them in situations that they didn't really want to be in. Cash was saying that Cope was still looking at him as like the little helpless guy that he was when he was younger, that Cope would help out a lot. And Dax was saying that he just had to put this old man out of his misery, basically, because he was trying to, get his glory days back and stuff like that. I mean, I like the reasoning. I'm not too mad at it, to be honest. You had Tony Schiavone come out there. Well, no, they called Tony Schiavone out. He was about to get taken out by them with that shatter machine. They definitely was going to do that. Nigel McGuinness hops into the ring. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, did he get taken out and then they tried hitting the shatter machine, or did Daniel Garcia come out? One of the two. I think they tried hitting the shatter machine on Nigel McGuinness, and then here comes Daniel Garcia, and then he gets pushed off by them. Obviously, they're really cool with Daniel Garcia because the whole stuff in 2024 with the House of Black and the patriarchy and all those six-man tag matches, steel cage match, all that stuff. So they're really, really cool with him, and he was really dumbfounded because he was like, I mean, I understand you guys are mad at folks and all that, but I didn't think you guys are mad at me. And then we get the whole thing of, Daddy Magic and Matt Menard. They were going at FTR saying we're not going to allow you guys to do that. Do what you did to Cope, to Daniel Garcia. And then that match gets set up. Obviously, they, get real violent in the match, them being FTR. And they hit like two shatter machines on Daddy Magic. It was pretty interesting, to say the least, that they did that. I think, oh man, we're getting the Judgment Day in AEW, aren't we? This is basically a similar way to how it went when Finn Balor joined the group. Oh, man, we are. I think we are. Because see, it was very weird how they didn't attack Daniel Garcia in the end, but then they attacked him after Daniel Garcia got in the match. Well, no, he didn't get in the match. He was trying to protect Daddy Magic and Matt Menard, and then they attack him It was really weird why they attacked him second time, but not the first time. Really odd. I didn't really understand it, but it would make a lot of sense if he actually is still going to join that group, if they are going to run a whole Judgment Day kind of thing in AEW. So you would have FTR, you would have Daniel Garcia. I don't know who else you would add. I love the thought of potentially Wardlow joining, because now you have Adam Cole, and I'm not calling them that new name they want to be called. Sorry, Adam Cole, not doing it. Stupid name, still calling you Undisputed Kingdom. But you had them come out. Obviously, they have Wardlow connected to them. So I wouldn't be too shocked if Wardlow actually joined this new group, whatever they're going to be called. Let's see, what's like a really big word for judgment? Let's Oh, man. Okay, so this new group is probably going to be called Punishment Day. Or Discernment Day. Ooh, they gonna call it Discernment Day. Actually, wait, hold on. What's the synonym for day? We got like Discernment Era, Discernment Period, Discernment Epic or Epoch, or one of the two. Discernment Generation, Discernment Age. What? Oh man, if I figured it out, it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those. I don't know which one. If I had to pick one, I'm gonna go with Discernment Era. I really don't like it, but I kind of do like it. It's pretty cool. If they didn't go like Discernment, maybe like Punishment Era or something like that, or Retribution Era, or wait, Just Desserts. How is that a synonym to Judgment? No, it's not. That's not a synonym. Astuteness. That's not a synonym either. Shrewdness Era. Oh, you just see, they're not gonna do Discernment Era because that sounds kind of cool. AEW gonna pick the worst one there. Oh my gosh, man. But whatever these guys are gonna be called, I could see a world where this group, FTR, Daniel Garcia, eventually does get Wardlow after feuding with Adam Cole and what's their names? Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. Maybe Daniel Garcia even gets a TNT Championship back. Maybe. I wouldn't really be mad. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be too mad about it. I would hate it for Adam Cole because, gosh, I want to see him just get, like one good run with it. But then again, if it's going to be for like a really great story going forward of Daniel Garcia, the new young guy that's kind of playing like the Dominic Mysterio role of this, because obviously FTR would be more akin to like Damian Priest and Finn Balor, as they're like the bit older guys, but they're kind of also young in the sense of like young in this company. I could see them doing that. I wonder who would be the woman for the group. Would it be Megan Bayne? Oh my gosh, I said Megan Bayne would be joining the Judgment Day in the episode. I hope I didn't take that out. I think I might have taken it out. Oh man, I might have taken it out. I could have predicted this like a few episodes ago, but I had said in one of the episodes where I took it out that what if Megan Bayne joined the Judgment? I mean, like, or what if Megan Bayne, was a part of like a new Judgment Day and she could be a part of this group? It would make a lot of sense, seeing as she's kind of in the same scenario where FTR and them are at. Is like, where do you go next? You had this world championship match, but now you don't really have a clear path to really anything. You don't have a clear path to the TBS title, to the AEW Women's World title. Obviously, ain't no tag titles for you. FTR have no clear routes to the tag titles, world title, mid-card titles, nothing like that. Same thing for Daniel Garcia. I could see them doing this whole thing with Daniel Garcia, Megan Bayne, FTR. Maybe eventually you add someone else in later that is akin to a JD McDonough. I would really like that. I wonder who's going to be their R-Truth. Would it be Harley Graham? Wait, Harley Graham? Harley Cameron? What the hell is Harley Graham? I don't even know what that is. I think it would probably be like a Harley Cameron, though. That'd be really, really cool. Or a, who's a real like comedic relief character dude there? Dan Hawson? Ew, that's nasty. Oh my God. Speaking of the women though, the Owen Hart Cup tournament, we finally got, the round one done. So Chris Statlander defeated Thunder Rosa, Mercedes Moné defeated Julia Hart, Jamie Hayter defeated Billy Starks, and Athena defeated Harley Cameron. So because what I predicted didn't happen, now I have another prediction. I always have predictions on top of predictions. I have multiple predictions. I am the predictioner. I think Mercedes Moné is gonna lose to Athena. Athena's going to go to the finals against one Jamie Hayter. Mercedes Moné is going to cost Athena, and Jamie Hayter is going to get the big dub, going on to eventually take down Toni Storm. And we're going to get Mercedes Moné versus Athena at All In. Oh my God, what if they have Athena join Discernment Era? Ew. Please be called Discernment Era. It's not the worst name in the world, man. Just don't call them Shrewd in this period. Ew. They'll do it though. Tony Khan's gonna see this video and be like, yeah, nope, sorry, Discernment Era is too cool. You like it, and because one person likes it, I can't do it. I'm surprised he didn't change all the wrestlers' names. Ew, man. Oh no, I don't even want to think about what he would start calling people, so let's not even get into that. But yeah, no, we do have Mercedes Moné versus Athena. I think that is going to play out the way it does play out. I think Jamie Hayter is going to defeat Chris Statlander. We will get a pretty dang good match of Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm at All In. Mercedes Moné versus Athena at All In. I hope that this does lead to a women's casino gauntlet match, though, because the women like Willow Nightingale, Willow Nightingale's actually hurt now with that neck injury, so yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with her going forward, but Chris Statlander, potentially Rio returning this year, also potentially Nyla Rose returning this year. Mariah May is going to be there too. You're going to have Megan Bayne obviously needing to do something, and if you do have her join like this Discernment Era thing, you actually could have her win the Women's Casino Gauntlet, kind of akin to a Rhea Ripley winning the Royal Rumble, and then you have Megan Bayne go on to dethrone one Jamie Hayter. You probably do run some like, Jamie Hayter versus Julia Hart in a few matches, like allow Jamie Hayter to have a competent run, maybe like 2-3 months, and then you have Megan Bayne just say, all right, I'm ready now, and you take out one, what's her name, Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter. You probably would have Penelope Ford also join this group as well, seeing as how she'd kind of be like the Raquel. So it'd be like more like the newer version of Judgment Day, not like the super older version where you're at least going to have your women's champion actually be with somebody else, akin to how Liv was with Raquel, but obviously Rhea wasn't with somebody. Heck, they might even do like the new version of Judgment Day, just a lot better version of that, because like I said, these companies are always trying to one-up each other. But hey, speaking of, these companies, though, let's go ahead and talk about the 5 biggest fumbles between AEW and WWE. Starting off right with number 5, Miss Harley Cameron. People disagreed with me on this one. I think Harley Cameron is too big of a name to not find something for her to do, not be in some kind of big feud, not be, potentially like just all over the website. I would have her being in my thumbnails. Not like my thumbnails, I would have her being like one of like the front faces on my YouTube cover thingamajig, I forgot what it's called. I would even have it to where she's on my like AEW things for Max, because I don't think she is. Let me just, let me triple check that, because I could be wrong. I double checked it earlier. It was a bit earlier though. It wasn't as recent, so I could always be wrong. It's always good to check yourself and to be right instead of being wrong. Okay, so for Collision, it's Mariah May. Who the hell is that? I can't see who that is in the back. It's Mariah May, Willow Nightingale, Orange Cassidy, Christian, and Darby Allin. This really needs to be updated. My goodness, why is Christian the face of this? That should have been Daniel Garcia at some point. And then for Dynamite, it's Mercedes Moné, Willow Nightingale, Will Ospreay. Yeah, crazy to get those two mixed up. Swerve Strickland, Jon Moxley, and MJF. That one's fine, but Collision really needs to be updated. My goodness. And I would probably have Harley Cameron be on one of those spots. So, yeah, I feel like it's just kind of a fumble by not having her be more present around AEW, not showing her off a lot more, while also showing her off outside of AEW, trying to find some talk shows, radio shows, whatever you could get her on. I would be getting her on it ASAP just to get her name around more. And I would find something big for her to do now that she is out of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. If it is a Women's Casino Gauntlet, perfect. If it's a women's tag team, perfect as well. I would just find something. Heck, if it's even pairing her with Mercedes Moné, I would do it too. Next up, though, we have American Made. This group, I'm only giving them, the 4 spot and not anything higher, because the other 3 are just kind of atrocious in my opinion. But I'm only giving them the only other reason I'm giving them the 4 spot is because of the fact that at least somebody from American Made is likely to be at WrestleMania, so it's something. But let's be real. About the first year, you basically wasted not the first year. What would it be, like the first 6 to 8 months? You basically wasted these guys away. You made them basically job out to the Wyatt Six, and then you didn't really do much with the tag teams. Then eventually you did something with the Creed brothers by giving them a tag team match against the War Raiders, but you had them lose. I mean, I understand the War Raiders winning, faces, all that, lose a New Day, cool, whatever. If they don't lose a New Day, though, it's gonna be really stupid as to why the Creed brothers just didn't win the match. But I guess you really just want that Big E moment. So yeah, but like you haven't done really much with that team. Ivy Nile has been like the best one of the group so far. That's including better than Chad Gable in my opinion. She's just progressed in ways that I did not ever think that was gonna be possible for one Ivy Nile. I'm so proud of her. I gotta say that, man. Like, she's progressed so much that I forgot about the fact that she had these dumbass braids in her hair, man. Them braids been pissing me off her whole entire career, but now I don't even care about them because she's doing really damn good. So you know what? She's rocking braids, and she's at least doing good. Before, she was doing bad and was like, ew, no, don't rock them. But yeah, no, it's hard with American Man because I feel like this group should have been a lot bigger than they are. You should have added Kurt Angle to this group at some point in time. I don't know why you didn't. He wants to do it. Chad wants him. Everybody wants it. I don't know why you don't do it, though. Stupid. Number 3 is MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. I'm going to be real with you. This should have been feud of the century right here. The fact that we just kind of halted this to run MJF with the Hurt Syndicate and Hangman Adam Page be doing the Swerve stuff and the Young Buck stuff, I don't really get it. Are we eventually going to put MJF with the Young Bucks? Are we going to make him an EVP? I mean, actually, why didn't we make him an MVP? MVP. Why didn't we make him an EVP? It would make the most sense in the world. If anybody fits that group, it's MJF. Actually, why the hell was Kazuchika Okada and Jack Perry added to the group over MJF? That's got to be about the stupidest thing ever. Oh, my goodness. He fits the group to a T. I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that, but maybe they do end up doing that sometime this year. Maybe, MJF doesn't really work with the Hurt Syndicate. The EVPs help him out, something like that. Maybe Kazuchika Okada. It'd probably be the Young Bucks that help him out. I could see that happening. And then that would maybe get him back with Hangman, but that's like a very, very big stretch if it does actually happen. So, yeah, I don't know where we're going with MJF and Hangman Adam Page. We're going to pick it up sometime later this year. I just don't really like it because, like, we had this thing going for, like, an entire month. Stopped it at Revolution and haven't even really touched it much since. Besides the one confrontation between these two guys, nothing else after that. I don't really know. I wouldn't have done this in my opinion. This storyline just had so much potential to be the greatest thing in wrestling history, and we just kind of said, yeah, no, whatever. We'll just go ahead and run it some other time. I don't like it at all. And I don't even like the fact that they counted MJF versus Hangman Adam Page part 1 as an actual part 1 because it wasn't even really a part 1 in my opinion, but whatever, man. They counted Revolution as part 2. That's kind of where I should just know that they were going to do some bullshit with this storyline, even though I hyped this thing up for like 2 straight videos, man. But next up is Cody Rhodes Championship run. This one is just, this one's awful. At some point in time, we should have ran Cody versus Randy. We did not need to do Cody. No, let's start from the beginning. My bad. Let's start from the beginning, and then we'll talk about how we should have added Cody versus Randy. We did Cody versus AJ, started off great. I've said a few times now, I think in videos and stuff like that, that you had that one moment before, I think it was the I Quit match where it was AJ and Cody Rhodes. You had AJ, though, with the Good Brothers. You didn't have the Good Brothers attack Cody Rhodes. You had them tell like a regular, schmegular kind of promo where they both kind of like respected each other but didn't respect each other. Didn't have anything happen there. No slapping, no fighting, nothing. No, actually, I think AJ Styles smacked him, and that was it. That was literally it. You didn't do much there. It was stupid as hell, in my opinion. The I Quit match was an awful I Quit match. Absolutely amazing match. Their Backlash match was top tier, one of the greatest of all time. The Cody Rhodes Logan Paul stuff was also stupid as well because you didn't let Cody Rhodes say anything really kind of crazy to Logan Paul. Then you know the whole weird thing where like Logan Paul said you don't deserve a United States Championship match, but you deserved apparently an undisputed championship match. It doesn't make any sense at all in my opinion either. That was stupid. And then we had like the weird ending to that match. You ran Cody and Solo for months upon months. Didn't really. I mean, I thought it was a really interesting thing, but a lot better things we could have done because this was all just leading up to Roman Reigns. All of it. Every last part of it was just leading up to Roman Reigns, helping this guy out. And then, mind you, Cody Rhodes didn't help Roman Reigns out for like the next few weeks either. So it wasn't until Cody Rhodes, got into a steel cage match, got attacked by the Bloodline, and then Roman came and helped him again, that we actually had Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns work together. It was stupid. That was really stupid. And we did all that because we wanted to run Cody versus KO. Look it, man, I'm not even hating on KO when I say this. You did all of that for that? That was the ultimate payoff. Cody versus KO. I mean, cool. It's great. You had Cody versus Randy right there, though. Why did you not at any point in time ever run this big feud? This could have been like a 2-3 month kind of feud. And really, I think the only reason they didn't do it was because they want Randy Orton to potentially dethrone Cody Rhodes. So it's like, if you did that, then you don't get Cody versus Cena. But, I mean, can I be honest for like 2 seconds and say that I love Cody Rhodes, but if you're telling me we're getting Randy Orton versus John Cena at WrestleMania this year, buddy, give me that over Cody versus Cena. Please, give me that over Cody versus Cena 10 times out of 10. I don't need Cody versus Cena that bad. I never needed that match, to be honest. It's going to be a pretty cool match, I guess, but Randy Orton versus John Cena is literally nostalgia right there, and we also never got them in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania because Triple H had to get involved in that dang match. So, yeah, you just ruined their championship run. And then the last one, this one hurts me to my core, man. This one really, really, really hurts me to my core. New Day. What the hell, man? What the hell are we doing? We had them have this big old heel turn on Big E. For what? Like, Kofi said, so what? No, buddy, for what? What the hell was the point of the damn heel turn if you weren't going to do a dang thing with the War Raiders dethroning Judgment Day? Or, hey, better yet, why didn't we have the War Raiders dethrone Judgment Day before the Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods heel turn, and then have the New Day dethrone the War Raiders a week or two later? I would have loved that a lot more. I don't care if they would have been transitional champions. It would have been transitional champions in a good way because here come the big bad heels to take the belt off of the War Raiders who just got their name back and also just, came back as really big faces to a really big pop. I would have loved that. Didn't do that, though. You didn't even build the War Raiders up as a competent, face team so that if the New Day do dethrone them at WrestleMania, it actually looks interesting. And if you're going to have Big E get involved in this match, buddy, are we just turning the New Day into jobbers? Because that's basically what they're going to become. Like, no one's going to take them credible at all. You're not running Kofi and Xavier Woods versus Big E if he's not actually cleared. You're not running either. You're not running either one of those matches versus Big E. You're not going to have them attack Big E. We're going to have Big E celebrating with the War Raiders. Really? Buddy, this is stupid if it happens. Nobody wants this. It's just god-awful. And mind you, you built up no faces within Raw's tag division, even if you did have the New Day dethrone the War Raiders. So it's like, where do you actually go? Fraxium? Oh, so we're going to have Fraxium lose to the New Day? Or we're going to have them win? Oh, so we're going to give the New Day a bunch of bullshit runs against the likes of the War Raiders and LWO. Get this bullshit out of my face, bro. No, this shit's stupid. Stupid, bro. We wait. Oh my god, man. I hate this too because the New Day are one of the greatest tag teams of all time, if not arguably a top 2 to top 3 greatest tag team. Hell, a lot of people could even argue the greatest tag team of all time. And over the past 4 years, we've basically turned them into the biggest jobbers that this world has ever seen. That's what they've been. It's stupid. I hate this so much for the New Day. And I hate it for a whole lot of other reasons because if I really wanted to go that way, the fact that this team had the closest chance to being the greatest tag team of all time, yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. You know exactly what I mean. And it's funny because, like, the New Day turned heel, had zero story built up with the War Raiders going on the past few months. Naomi turned heel, had a month of storyline with Jade Cargill. John Cena turned heel, had a month of storyline with John Cena. Couldn't do anything for the New Day though, right? No. Just once again gonna slap tag wrestling right in the face. Oh man, I hate this so much. I really, really do, bro. I don't think a lot of y'all understand just how big the New Day are. You know what, man? I'm saying it. I don't even care who cries and bitches and complains. I don't think y'all understand how big the New Day are for the black community. I don't think y'all understand exactly how big they are for us. Seeing Kofi Kingston win was a beautiful moment because The Rock never accepted us, so we couldn't even count The Rock as like the first black WWE champion. Seeing Kofi Kingston get that, seeing his boys out there, they was counted out, they was forced to do X, Y, Z to actually get over the top. We had to see Kofi Kingston and Big E, go through a whole tag team gauntlet match just to be able to get just to get Kofi Kingston into that dang match against Daniel Bryan, just to see all that beautiful stuff. Just to see the New Day since like 2021, 2020 be an absolute shell of themselves and do nothing on the main roster. Do absolutely nothing. Little matches here and there. Cool, man. Whatever. Nobody freaking cares. You gave the Usos, though, a whole big old run with the Bloodline. Gave them a super big run. Can't do anything with the New Day, though, right? Okay. Yeah, no, it's just, it makes me so damn sick. I'm not even going to lie to you. But let's go ahead and end things off talking about the NBA playoffs. I'm not some, like, super in-depth analyst kind of person, okay? I'm not going to give you every single metric and all that stuff. I'm just going to tell you the stuff that I already know, and we're going to go through there, okay? So starting off with the play-in on the west side, we have the 7-8 seed, we have the 9-10 seed. I hate this stupid play-in tournament, by the way. It's the dumbest thing the NBA has ever introduced. And it really just made me just not even want to watch basketball as much anymore. But I do still watch it as much as I possibly can. 9-10 seed is the King versus Mavericks. I'm going to be real with you. Both of these teams I just don't actually care about. Kings, yeah, I mean, they had that 1 year where they got to the 2nd seed. Looked kind of cool. Got basically whooped on by the Warriors. Okay, I'm going to be nice. They put up a chance, but it was basically very obvious the Warriors are going to be winning that. Kings now, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. You gave up De'Aaron Fox. You still got Sabonis, though. I probably would have went the other way and give us Sabonis over Fox, but obviously it's pretty hard to trade Sabonis because there's not many teams that would probably want him because he needs to be like in a real specific system. He's like a Nikola Jokic, but, the Timu version. And then on the Maverick side of things... No Kyrie, you done gave up Luka, you got AD, you do, have a team there at least that's competent enough, but they're the 10th seed for a reason. This team is awful, and so are the Kings. Whoever wins between these two would go on to play the loser of the 7-8 seed. I'm just going to go with the Kings, and I think that they'll play the Grizzlies because I do believe the Grizzlies will lose to the Warriors. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Warriors are one of the most dangerous teams in the playoffs. I think that going into the first round, they would be playing the Rockets because it'd be 7 versus 2nd, and I think that they're going to take the Rockets. I think the Rockets are a really nice young team that have zero playoff experience outside of like Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet. I think, though, in the future, they're going to be a lot better. Obviously, they got to kind of sort their team out. Got a lot of, young dudes that you haven't seen them really become what they probably should become. We have Jabari. You got Jalen Green. Alperen Sengun looked like a dog last year. Kind of has been, up and down this year. He's been really great to start the year, but he hasn't really shown much outside of what he was doing last year. So the progression, it's like, is this his ceiling? Jalen Green, he's basically Nick Young, J.R. Smith. Sometimes he looks like the greatest shooting guard in the world, and other times you're like, bro, we can't even play this guy. But you do have that boy, Amen Thompson. He's an absolute dog. I think he's the best player on the Rockets right now, and I think that he can make things very interesting against the Warriors. That's why I don't think this will be like any 4-0, 4-1. I see this going 4-2, even 4-3 if possible, just because of the fact that, the Warriors do live and die by that 3-ball steal. Has changed up over time because of the fact that now they have Jimmy Butler. They don't have all these great shooters that they once had. They still do got a pretty damn good team, though. I just think having Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler on the same team, some of the greatest playoff performers, some of the clutchest guys in the playoffs, man, these guys can really go all the way. These guys can really go all the way, I'm going to be honest with you. And I think that the Rockets are just not going to have enough firepower to be able to keep up with the Warriors. You do have guys like Cam Whitmore and Reed Shepherd, but they both haven't even really done much as well, especially Reed Shepherd. We ain't really even seen much from him. So it's like, maybe, Dylan Brooks could catch fire like he did that one playoff run for the Grizzlies. Probably not going to see that version of Dylan Brooks anymore. He just wants to be the ultimate heel. Fred VanVleet could always catch fire. He's a veteran. You got to put a lot of faith in a veteran. But I think that these two guys, along with the rest of these guys, it's just not going to be enough for the Warriors. So I think the Warriors are going to get this probably in 4-2, 4-3. If I had to be a betting person, I would say 4-2. And then on the other side of things, you got the 1-seed Thunder going against the 8-seed Grizzlies. I'm going to be real with you, man. I said this on TikTok Live. if I'm a Grizzlies fan, if I'm a Grizzlies player, I'm not scared of the Thunder, man. I know SGA is a dog. Don't get me wrong on that. This guy's going to be MVP. Most likely, I'd be very surprised if he wasn't the MVP. He's a damn good point guard. No, not damn good. He is a damn elite point guard. He's one of the top 3, top 4 players in the world right now. I just think the rest of that team, I do not trust them at all. I don't trust J-Dub. I don't trust the other Jalen Williams. I don't trust Chet. I don't trust Lou Dort. Alex Caruso is a dog on defense, but what is he giving to me on offense? And I feel like the Grizzlies have enough there. Like, I know I'm putting a lot of faith in my team, so I am being, a bit delusional here. I'm not being biased, though. I promise you on that. I think Ja Morant against SGA not going to lock up no damn Ja Morant. He probably not even going to be guarding him. It's likely going to be a plethora of different dudes like Lou Dort, J-Dub, probably Caruso. You might throw SGA on him every once in a while. I think Ja Morant is going to be able to get it done against a lot of these guys, though. Alex Caruso is probably going to be like the hardest one to get it done because obviously Caruso is just a dog on defense, one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, if not the best perimeter defender. I just think that I trust Ja Morant a lot, especially playoff Ja. He has a lot to prove this year. He's going to be under a lot of pressure, and I think when he's under a lot of pressure, this guy has shown me something, man. He showed me a lot against the Warriors, He showed me something against the Lakers, too. I know a lot of folks want to, say that he didn't play the greatest versus the Lakers, but you got to remember that it was really just him because the team couldn't shoot. So the way that he was playing, it was a very modified way of how he would usually play, and he still did go out there and do as much as he could. I feel like this Thunder team does not have the interior presence that Lakers team had. Yes, you do have Chet Holmgren down there, but obviously, unless you're going to be playing Zach Edey a lot, which I would not play him a lot against the Thunder because I would want to open up, the middle for guys like Ja, for a guy like Jaren, or at least to have Jaren, kind of pushing out so that Ja can get into the paint as much as he can. I think if you go that way, you're giving Ja Morant just one of the best possible situations. Then you have Jaren on the perimeter, you have Luke on the perimeter, you have Desmond on the perimeter, you got a lot of these other guys. I think that the Grizzlies aren't going to beat the Thunder. That's what I want to make clear. The Grizzlies are not beating the Thunder, but I think they have a fighting chance. I could see this going 4-2, probably 4-1, but it's going to be a really, really close 4-1. I'm just not riding off the Grizzlies at all, in my opinion, but the Thunder are going to go ahead and go on to the second round along with the Warriors as well. Then between the Lakers and Wolves, I'm going to be real with you. This is short and sweet. Lakers are probably going to 4-0 the Wolves. I don't have much faith in this team. I have not liked this team since the Julius Randle trade. I honestly didn't even like the team last year with Cat either. I just always felt like Cat and Rudy Gobert was not going to be a great thing, and I really thought that Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert were not going to be a great thing either, seeing as Julius really does like being in that low post, high post a lot. He likes being in the mid-range as well, but one of the things he really likes being in is being able to get to the paint, whether that be in the low post or just getting himself to the paint. Rudy Gobert cannot shoot threes. I don't know why you would never have this man try to shoot some dang threes, try to have him work on the threes in practice so you could possibly have more spacing. There's just not much spacing on this team. I don't really like the point guard situation, even though Mike Conley is my dude, one of my favorite players of all time. He's just not the same Mike Conley anymore. Rob is, doing his thing, but it's like, I don't think he's much of a shooter as well, at least right now anyways. Anthony Edwards is a dude. He's one of them damn dudes in the league, but even with him being one of those top players, it's not going to be enough versus the Lakers. LeBron, Austin Reeves, Luka, it's just not enough, man. And I don't think they're going to get any one of these games. I'm going to be honest with you. If they did, I would actually feel more in fear for the Lakers going forward than I would be and be like, oh, it's just whatever, man. They got one game because the Lakers cannot lose a game to this Wolves team. I'm sorry, this team is not good. They kind of only got the 6th seed because the Warriors and the Grizzlies started messing up down the road. This team is not that good. They really shouldn't even be the 8. Even if they weren't the 6th seed, they shouldn't even be the 8th seed. This team is just awful, man. Ugh. I do not like this team at all. So I think the Lakers will advance. And then on the Nuggets, Clippers, I got Clippers advancing. I think this Nuggets team has just become in shambles. I feel real bad for Nikola Jokic. This guy's out here getting 60-point triple-doubles, and the team is still losing, man. That should not be a thing at all. It's one of the sickest things in the world. The team has just become a shell of itself, if we're going to be real, which is crazy because they just won the chip, not last year, but the year before that. So it's like, how the heck in the span of 2 years? So it's like, how the heck did you become in the span of 2 years this This team is awful. Jamal Murray, I don't know what the heck's happened to him. I guess this guy really is only good against certain teams in the playoffs. I don't know. MPJ just never became what a lot of people thought he was going to become. Aaron Gordon is still doing his thing, but I feel like Aaron Gordon's hit that ceiling. He hasn't actually ever taken that next step to being one of those elite guys. So it's all Jokic versus Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Zubac, and Norman Powell, and a few other folk on that bench. I think that this team is going to be taking it, man. Kawhi Leonard is going to put Jamal Murray in hell. Zubac's not going to be able to do anything against Jokic, but what is that? Okay, Jokic gets 60, 70, 80 points a game. This man could average 100 points in this series, and the Clippers are still going to win. Like, that's how bad this Nugget team is. So I got the Clippers going forward, which would mean that it would be Clippers versus Thunder, and then you would have Lakers versus Warriors. Ooh, baby. I'm about to say the most basic thing in the world when it comes to the Lakers versus the Warriors. Neither of these guys can guard each other, okay? Nobody on the Warriors is stopping Luka, LeBron, or Austin Reeves, and nobody on the Lakers is stopping Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler. I'm going to throw Draymond Green in there as well, because I'm going to give him his respect. He's not going to score like 40, 50 points a game, but what Draymond's going to do is one of the most underrated things, which is he's going to do every single thing on the court, and you're not going to be able to stop it. The great screens, the pass to the assist, the setting up the offense, just all of that stuff, that's what he's going to do, and nobody's going to be able to stop him from doing that, because it's not the easiest thing to stop somebody from doing that. You can't stop it with LeBron. You can't stop it with Draymond. You just can't stop it with these high IQ, some of like the just greatest minds in basketball. This guy Draymond, if he wasn't such a douchebag, he could actually be a great coach, man. He would be one of the best coaches in the league, in my opinion, because his mind is that great. So I'm going to say the most basic thing in the world. It just comes down to who scores more in this series. That's really it. I know. It's like, wait, hold on. You're not going to talk about like 3-point percentage, the defense. You're not going to talk about like anybody getting to the paint. No. Whoever scores more. That's literally it, man. If the Warriors score more, they're going to win every single dang game. It sounds stupid to say out loud. It sounds like, oh my gosh, do you even actually know ball? This is such a basic thing to say. Obviously, if you score more, you win. But sometimes some of the most basic things are the most important things. Jimmy Butler is not stopping Luka, not stopping LeBron, but they're not going to stop him either. We already seen what Jimmy Butler could do against a LeBron-led team. We've seen what Steph Curry can do against a LeBron-led team. We know what Luka can do against a Steph Curry-led team. We know what LeBron can do against a Jimmy Butler-led team. Austin Reeves is really going to be the biggest key in this situation in this series, because if Austin Reeves lights it up like we know Austin Reeves can, Lakers are going to be taking this. The Warriors don't have a third guy that can do what Austin Reeves can do. But with that said, the Warriors do have guys that collectively can do what Austin Reeves can do. Pods, Kuminga, I'm forgetting the other brother's name. I'm thinking of Buddy. I'm thinking of Buddy. I'm going to be thinking of somebody else. But they have like collectively a bunch of guys that can do what Austin Reeves can do. So for the Warriors, they need these guys to be able to match Austin Reeves. For the Lakers, they just need Austin Reeves to be Austin Reeves. It's really going to come down to who scores more and who's going to win the battle between Austin Reeves and collective group. Who could score more between these two? I'm going to put a lot more faith in the Lakers here, just because of the fact that you're only relying on one guy to do his job and not multiple guys to do their job. So as much as I think that the Warriors are a very dangerous team, and if they're going up against the Thunder, I would pick them over the Thunder, to be honest. I'm going to pick the Lakers over the Warriors here. I don't really like it because, man, that guy Curry and that boy Butler are just something different. But I think that just you need that third piece there, and they don't really have it. Although I will say this. I would give Draymond Green, because he's going to be DPOY this year, Defensive Player this year, most likely. I think him against Luka, it's going to really affect Luka. I think we're going to see Luka looking like how he looked against the Celtics. And if that does happen, I think Warriors can win this. I think the Warriors can, because now you're not only asking for Austin Reeves to be himself, but now you're asking somebody else to step up for Luka, who can't be himself, and I just don't think the Lakers have that other guy. You got Rui there. Rui is very back and forth. I'm going to be real with you, man. So If Draymond is able to slow Luka down and make him play the way he played against the Celtics, I think Warriors could take this. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going with the Lakers. Now we have Thunder versus Clippers, and I'm gonna be real with you. I'm taking the Clippers here, and I'm not even second guessing it. Same thing I said about the Grizzlies versus the Thunder. Same thing applies for the Clippers versus the Thunder, except the Clippers have just a bit better players. I think James Harden right now is just a bit better than Desmond Bane. Not too much better, but a bit better. I would pick Kawhi Leonard over Ja Morant, and I would pick Zubac over Jaren Jackson Jr. So because they have the better team, but they also have the better defender, they have one of the greatest defenders of all time in Kawhi Leonard. I think as long as Kawhi Leonard stays healthy, which is a very, very big if he's able to stay healthy, I think that he could take SGA, and I think he could put him on clamps. If he was able to do some things to LeBron that we ain't never seen done before, what do you think he is going to do to SGA? What do you think he is going to do to any of them boys on offense? I think Zubac is going to be giving, Chet Holmgren hell in the paint, because that is a big man, and Chet Holmgren is not. He is smooth with it, but I think Zubac is disciplined enough that he's not going to let Chet Holmgren go crazy. James Harden just has to play the way he played. What was that, last year? I forgot exactly who they played against. It might have been the Celtics or the Knicks, whichever one it was. He's got to play. If he could play up to that, or at least half of that, James Harden is going to be, he's going to be fine. Probably about 18, 19, 20 points a game. I think if Norman Powell just continues to play the way he played in the regular season, in the postseason, which shout out to Norman Powell, by the way, man. This guy came along. I used to have this guy in 2K all the time, and he would be my most improved player of the year, and he would start balling out. So I'm glad to see him be balling out in real life. I do have the Clippers over the Thunder. I think the Thunder just need somebody to step up, and if it's not going to happen with J-Dub, it's not going to happen with Chet Holmgren, and this is kind of their ceiling, then, you got some of them picks, man. Maybe you got to move off one of these dudes. There's a guy in the East who might be looking to get a new team, talking about some Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I don't know, man. I just don't trust these other guys in the Thunder to be able to perform at the highest level or to be able to take that next step, because we have not seen it just yet, and we see how they looked the last postseason. So that means the Western Conference Finals will be the Lakers versus the Clippers, battle for LA, and oh man, this is gonna be a hell of a series. I'm going with the Clippers, though. I'm going with the Clippers. The Lakers don't have anybody on the interior for Zubac. I think Zubac is going to be feasting down there. You're telling me Kawhi versus LeBron, part 3 now? Oh, baby, this is going to be a beautiful series. I really hope Kawhi Leonard stays healthy, man. I'm banking on Kawhi Leonard to stay healthy, because I need one last final Kawhi Leonard run just for him to get to the finals, or at least even to the Western Conference Finals. I think Kawhi Leonard would likely be guarding LeBron. You're probably going to just, let Luka kind of do his thing. Or you're going to reverse it and say, you know what, we're going to make LeBron beat us. And obviously, you don't want LeBron to beat you, because LeBron can beat you. But he is up there in age now. Getting to the Western Conference Finals, there's going to be a lot of wear and tear on his body. So it's like, would he be able to perform at that high level in the Western Conference Finals? Would he be able to do it for potentially a 7-game series? If I'm the Clippers, I'm saying, LeBron, you got to do it one last time, man. If this is your last year, I don't know if this is LeBron last year or not. I think if you get the chip, it definitely would be. But LeBron, you got to do it one last time, man, because we're not about to let Luka beat us, because Luka is a lot younger. Because we've seen what Luka did last year against the Thunder. We've seen what he did against the Timberwolves. We know that Luka could definitely, carry a dang team, whether he's injured or not, unless it's against the Celtics. So I'm going to say the Clippers take this 7-game series. It would end in, LA. It's gonna be in LA either way. It would end in the Lakers arena, though, and I think that this is gonna be kind of like the stamping of the Clippers have LA now. I know the Lakers just got they got the chip a few years ago. They got Luka now, so like their future's a bit more set up. But I'm gonna be real with you, man. This Clippers team is not going anywhere. Zubac, Powell, they're going to get somebody else in there very, very soon, because it's LA. I think Clippers are going to the finals. Now, on the East side of things, I'm going to be real with you. We about to speed run some of these, man, because Bulls going to beat the Heat. The Heat just don't have really anything there outside of Tyler Hero. Bam is basically a shell of himself. I like Andrew Wiggins, but I just don't think that it's going to work with him being the second best guy, being the second leading scorer aside from Tyler Hero, I just don't think it's going to work at all. Bulls, Giddey, White have been playing a lot better this year. So if I had a bet on the battle of mid, I'm going to go with the mid that just looks a bit better, and that is the Bulls. They would play the loser of the Magic and Hawks. I got the Hawks losing that game. I think the Magic would go on to be the 7th seed, play the Celtics first round, and then I think the Hawks are going to beat the Bulls, and they would go on to face the Cavs in the first round. I just trust Trae Young a lot more than I do Josh Giddey and Kobe White, if I'm going to be real with you. So we would have a 8-1 matchup of the Cavs versus the Hawks. Cavs going to just go right through that series. 4-0, not even going to be close at all. These might be like 20, 30-point blowouts if I'm going to be real with you. We might even get a 50 ball in here. Ugh, it's going to be nasty. And as far as the Celtics versus the Magic, I think it's going to actually be a lot closer series than a lot of people are going to be, prepared for. I think it's going to be 4-0, 4-1, but every single game is going to be close. These are probably going to be like 5-6 point games because I have a lot of faith in Paolo and Franz to finally figure it out, man. I think this playoffs is going to be a very big testament as to what's going to happen going forward with these guys. Is somebody going to get moved? It likely would be Franz, not Paolo. And I think that these guys could be a top-tier wing duo going forward for the next 8, 9, 10 years if they're able to get it down. And I don't know what the disconnect is there with these guys, because their play styles are not that similar, to be honest. Paolo is a lot more inside, a lot more mid-range. Franz just ain't got that dang 3-ball back. He kind of gets it here and there, but for the most part, it's not as consistent as it once was when he was in college in his first year. If he gets that damn 3-ball back, it's going to be a real thing of beauty, but as of right now, it's just looking like we don't really know what's going to go on with it. So I think the Celtics are going to win, but it's going to be a much closer series than a lot of us would have imagined. Next up is the Knicks and Pistons. Okay, Cunningham, man, this guy's an absolute dog. I got him as one of my 3 best point guards in the league right now, but sadly, he just does not have enough firepower to beat the Knicks. You got Jalen Brunson, you got Mikal Bridges. I know he ain't really played as great as he once had in Brooklyn as he did in Phoenix, but I think he's still, a very, very good player. I think he's going to be able to find that spark again in these playoffs. OG Anunoby, he's still a dog defensively. And even if Mikal can't find it offensively, defensively, he's got it. And then you have Cat, he's been up and down he's been more up than down this year, but I think it's just because him and Brunson haven't really found like that proper, connection between the two, very similar to Franz and Paolo, but I think it's a bit more there with these two guys. So I do got the Knicks taking this one. And then Pacers versus Bucks. Pacers are going to win, but I'm going to be real with you. If Giannis does not win this series, there's some nasty-ass conversations to be had, man. Because you're telling me you're going up against a team that is not elite by any means. The Pacers are a pretty dang good team, but they're not elite. And you can't beat them single-handedly. I've seen Jimmy Butler lead the Heat to the damn finals twice, going against great teams. I've seen Nikola Jokic take pretty decent teams and get them past the first round. I've seen Steph Curry do the same thing. Hell, I've seen Steph Curry be the best player on a championship team. I have seen a lot of players do it. I've seen Jason Tatum do it as well. So the Celtics were a lot better team than this Bucks team, but Jason Tatum at the time was nowhere near as elite as what Giannis is right now. So that's what I mean when I say that. Giannis Antetokounmpo ain't done much in these past 2 playoffs. He's missed basically both of them. He really hasn't done much for the Bucks for the past 2 years. So it's like Giannis needs to win this series. Because if not, he's out of that top 3 in my opinion, and we're putting Luka right back into it. I got Nikola Jokic there, I got SGA there, and I got Jason Tatum there. I got Luka at number 4. I got my bad. I said that wrong. I have Nikola Jokic, I have Jason Tatum, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo, then I have SGA. Giannis is getting out of there. SGA is going in there. And then, it's really between him and Luka. You can kind of just go back and forth on that. I would probably put Luka at 4. I would put SGA at 3. And I would put Giannis down to 5. He's dropping a bunch of spots. Because right now he's number 3. He's dropping 2 spots if he cannot get this win. I'm sorry. I even seen Luka do it as well. And those teams are probably a bit better than this Bucks team. But it's not like leagues better by any means. He's got to figure out something, man. He's got to just go out there and be an absolute dog and force this Pacers team to do everything they can to stop him, to the point where offensively these guys just can't do anything at all because they're so beat up and so tired from having to deal with Giannis. He's got to get this win, but I'm going to go ahead and say Pacers are going to advance, which would mean that the Pacers would play the Cavs, and then the Knicks would play the Celtics. Celtics going to take this one. It's going to be a real easy, nice and quick 4-0, 4-1 series. I have zero faith in the Knicks versus the Celtics. I don't think they have anybody to even keep up with, keep up with the Jays or to even be able to compete with this dang Celtics team in general. A lot of people thought that those wing duos with Mikal and OG were going to be the stoppers of the Jays. I don't think it's going to happen, man. I think Celtics going to breeze by these guys, and we're going to get them in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think the Cavs are also going to breeze by the Pacers as well. This is one thing that really sucks for Eastern Conference teams is that, I think the top 2, top 3 are always, elite in the Eastern Conference. This year, it's really the top 2. So it's whenever they have these runs and they get, these final runs, last year, the Celtics had a finals run, and you're they played really mid teams in the East. Look at the Western Conference teams. But it's these Western Conference teams are not better than these Eastern Conference the Western Conference collectively is better. Their top 2 are not better than the East top 2. So it's it's going to look better, but how much better does it really look? Because you're not playing the Cavs or the Celtics. So it's it looks bad for them because, okay, you have the Celtics taking the Magic, taking the Pacers. You have the Cavs. I mean, not the Pacers. You have them taking the Knicks, the Magic. You have the Cavs taking the Pacers or maybe the Bucks and the Hawks. And it's just those look like mid runs at best. A lot of people even say that, LeBron's run to the finals looked mid because of who he played, and they didn't really have any, they didn't have any great players or anything like that. But it's just, I don't like it though. I mean, obviously that Cavs team was not better than that Spurs team. I'm not saying that, but that Cavs team was better than some of the other Western Conference teams. I will tell you that right now. They was better than basically all the other ones. So it's it's gonna suck for the Cavs or the Celtics. They're gonna say it's another easy run. I think whoever wins this matchup, though, between Cavs and Celtics, they're beating the Clippers or the Thunder or the Lakers or the Warriors, in my opinion. I think Cavs could be any one of those 4 teams. I think the Celtics could be any one of those 4 teams. This is going to be the best playoff series right here. Going to be a 7-game series, and I'm going to bet my money on the Celtics. I think the Celtics are going to go back-to-back here. I think that they just have a bit too much for the Cavs, where it's yes, the Cavs do have Mitchell, they have Garland, they have Jarrett, they have Mobley, they have DeAndre, they have Max Strus. I don't think that's still going to be enough because some of these guys just aren't elite enough to be on the levels of a Jason Tatum, of a Jaylen Brown. And I think that while Kristaps, I don't think he's better than Mobley. I think offensively he gives you a lot more, and I don't think Mobley is going to be able to slow him down the way a lot of people think that he could. Jarrett Allen possibly could, but I still think that it's going to be a real messy series for these damn Cavs, man. I got a lot of faith in them, though. I think it's going to be a 7-game series. Every single game is going to be close. I do not see any blowouts happening. If a blowout does happen, I'd be more surprised than the Grizzlies winning the finals. I'm going to be real with you, man, because these teams are just so neck and neck with each other. So I have the Celtics going to the finals against the Clippers. And as much as I do love the Clippers, and I think that they're going to be able to give the Celtics or the Cavs hell, it's going to be a much better series than it was last year. But I have the Celtics repeating. Them boys, man, that guy Jason Tatum, man, he's going to do a lot this year in the playoffs. I think last year he really was on cruise control, kind of like how Jalen Hurts was this year in the playoffs, really just, allowing the team to basically win instead of focusing on his individual self. I think this year, though, he's going to come in with the mindset of, I need to be the MVP. I'm tired of being disrespected, man. I look up to Kobe. Kobe would not be, cool with this, man. He'd be out there telling me, you need to be dog walking these boys. You need to go out there and just start dropping 40, 50 balls like how you did on Giannis, man. So I think Jason Tatum is going to do just that this year, probably 30-point average for the playoffs, and is going to win MVP. He's going to win Eastern Conference Finals MVP as well. Not MVP of the regular season, my bad. The Finals MVP and the Eastern Conference Finals MVP is what I meant to say, and I got the Celtics going back-to-back. But that's going to be it for me, though, y'all. I definitely hope y'all did enjoy this. If you want to hear me ever talk other things outside of just wrestling, I could definitely add them in as a little segment or something like that. This is obviously not a little segment. It's a pretty damn long segment. I'm seeing right now about damn near probably in around the 30-minute mark. So, yeah, if you ever want to hear me talk anything else, go ahead and let me know. And y'all let me know y'all predictions for the playoffs as well. Who you think going to be winning the NBA championship this year. But for now, though, y'all, that's it. I'm out. Peace. Y'all have a great day, everybody, man. Wherever you listen to this at, whether it be on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, hit that like, hit that follow, hit that rating, hit that subscribing, that share button, all that great stuff. Peace out, though, y'all. Bye.